Hey guys, it's Nick. Welcome to another episode of T-Minus 365. Today's episode, we're talking updates from Microsoft in August of 2022. If you follow along with my videos in the past on updates, you know I focus on what's relevant to the MSP space, blocking out the noise from the 100 or so announcements that come from Microsoft each month. As always, if this content is useful, go ahead and subscribe. Let's go ahead and dive in. Okay, so getting into it here, we're going to start off with meeting auto transcription, which is going to be available when users record a meeting by default. You can see this clearly depicted in the bottom section here in the bottom screenshot. This will happen late August, be complete by mid-September. Next two here for Teams, the first one's related to Adobe PDF experience. If you have users or customers leveraging Adobe Acrobat, you can now use this app as the default to view and edit PDF files in Microsoft Teams. It's available now in public preview and be complete as far as the GA rollout in September. Deploying Teams at scale, this is one you can use to deploy Teams in bulk, up to 500 Teams channels, where previously you could only deploy one Teams channel at a time. This might be helpful if you're onboarding a customer and have a default template for the Teams channels that you do create. This will be in preview in late August, be complete by mid-September. Custom download location for files and Teams. You may want to leverage this if you have certain compliance reasons you want to do this for. Otherwise, you might have personal preference as far as where you want these files to be located whenever you download them from the Teams app or Teams web client. This will happen early September, be complete by late October. Leave a meeting from all of your devices gives you the ability to leave a meeting from both the client experience and mobile experience at the same time. You can see that clearly depicted in the screenshot down below. This will happen early August, be complete by early September. Final one here for Teams is giving the ability to enable Q&A via the meeting options here. This was previously only available in things like Teams live events, but now you have the ability to create that via the meeting experience itself. Obviously, it might still only be useful in larger meeting settings, but regardless, to be in market mid-July, be complete by late July, so likely you're already seeing that today. Shifting into Microsoft Viva here, this only one I wanted to touch on is this quiet time setting in Viva, Teams, and Outlook. It's giving users the ability to silence notifications outside of their working hours, giving the ability to enhance work-life balance. Still be interesting to see how this is adopted and how much it does actually help, but it'll be out here late September and be complete by late October. Final section here is for the admin section, some more important updates here related to GDAP. First, if you're not familiar with GDAP, definitely go check out my blog post on that, which I'll link down below here. But essentially, there's a couple of heavy announcements there you need to make sure you understand. First one is the bulk migration tool they've introduced, which will be available until October 31st. Does allow you to move all of your existing DAP relationships or delegated admin relationships into GDAP in bulk without having to do a single customer at a time. So it's a big time saver there. If you can leverage that before October 31st, you should definitely do so. The other one is the fact that Microsoft will stop creating DAP relationships when a new customer or reseller relationship is created. Basically meaning that you need to change your process for onboarding customers if you have the DAP relationship establishment as part of that process. That'll happen at the end of September, moving into October. The final one here is something that I would want to get ahead of, which is basically Microsoft saying they're going to transition active DAP connections to least privileged GDAP roles starting October 31st. So to get ahead of this, obviously you just start establishing your own GDAP relationships here today. I'd much rather do that than have to scramble if Microsoft establishes new GDAP positions for me on my behalf with roles that maybe don't give me the access that I need today. So again, to get ahead of it, just start establishing the GDAP roles today for your new customers. Leverage the bulk migration tool to transition customers from DAP to GDAP. And also take note, as a final measure, you will need to do this with your distributor as well too if you're working one-to-one today. Final slide here is related to this new SKU, new offering called Microsoft Teams Rooms Pro. This is something that will replace the standard and premium offers that you may be leveraging today across your customer base. It is more of an enterprise level offering that will be offered at $40 per user per month. We're going to have some free trials available on September 1st, so likely when you're watching this video, you're already going to be able to do that. And the big thing here for me that I recognized was that they're offering this Teams Room Basic, which is basically the SMB version of this. but it will be free with the purchase of a Teams Room device. The caveat here is that it's only going to be available via direct as part of the hardware setup flow and not part of the CSP channel. So that's kind of a bummer to me, just because it's moving the licensing outside of maybe where I'm transacting today for a lot of these things, with the opposite side of that being that there's no margin on this today, and essentially, you get this for free instead of paying the $15 a month if you're using the standard offering today as well too. The timelines for this is, if you are currently using the licensing on standard or premium, you can have that until the next anniversary date, and then they're going to want you to convert either to the Teams Room Pro or the Teams Room Basic. Still, outstanding question that I have for this is whether or not you can retroactively use the Teams Basic licensing here for hardware that you've already set up that's on the standard licensing. There's a big PDF on this that I'll link below, again, as part of the supplemental documentation that you can go through to learn a little bit more about this particular announcement. That's everything that I want to cover in today's updates. If you guys have any comments, feel free to leave them below. Otherwise, like I mentioned earlier, like or subscribe if you guys want to see more content around Microsoft and the MSP space. Thanks, guys. Have a great day.